Now, of course, if you want to get your questions on our live mailbags every single Thursday and be notified when we are live, make sure you guys are subscribed down below. It's very important because subscribers get the notification by clicking the notification bell when we are live, and therefore you're able to go ahead and get in on these mailbags. So go down below and click the big red subscribe button, as well as hit the notification bell. That way you're ready to rock whenever we jump in for our live Q&As. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into the first one here. It is MC Carr, who says, should we give Watson, could we get Watson for our pick this year and Jimmy G and a first rounder in 2 years and a second rounder? As the dog is barking in the background. You hear that, just ignore the dog. It's barking outside. Listen, this is the same exact trade that Michael Irving said on 95.7 in San Francisco, where he said you give up Jimmy Garoppolo and 2 first-round draft picks. That, to me, would be enough. I think the Texans could be okay with that, especially if Deshaun Watson wants to go ahead and get traded. And if he kind of demands a trade like James Harden did for the other Houston basketball team, then maybe it is possible. But I honestly think they're going to try to get the absolute most. I mean, literally the absolute most for Deshaun Watson, which is why I did a video earlier this week saying could take 3 first-round draft picks and a player. And so the question really becomes, would you be willing to give up 3 first-round draft picks? I think 2 first-round draft picks is enough, but at the same time, I think the Houston Texans might want to go ahead and get more. 2 and Garoppolo, I would do right now. Done. 3 and Garoppolo, because that's this year's, next year's, and the years after this, then maybe we got to go ahead and rethink about trading for Deshaun Watson. But I'll keep watching the comments to see if you'd be willing to go ahead and do 3 first-round draft picks instead of just 2. Let's go to Jay's question here, who says, should the 49ers draft Jaylen Waddle because Bourne will be a free agent? I would like Jaylen Waddle, but not at 12. I don't think the Niners need to go ahead and take another first-round wide receiver, and Jaylen Waddle will 100% be a first-round wide receiver. I think he's going to be in that Brandon Ayuk 25 overall pick range. And while I would love Waddle, I think he's fantastic, gets healthy, obviously, with the ankle injury. He only played a little bit in the national championship game. I don't take him in the first round. They have other needs than wide receiver. You can sign a third-string wide receiver and then don't waste a first-round draft pick on a guy like Jaylen Waddle. Should the Niners trade Jimmy G and Kittle to the Lions and get MMG? I don't want to get rid of Kittle. I mean, Kittle to me is kind of the backbone of this offense. Now, this is a run-first offense. I think you still have great options on the outside with Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk, but I think George Kittle is kind of he's the player that puts the Niners over the top. He's the player that other defenses have to scheme for, because not a lot of linebackers can cover George Kittle, at least not a lot in the National Football League, playing outside linebacker right now, and some safety struggle as well. So no, I would not trade George Kittle. I think they re-signed him this offseason for a reason, and they want to keep him here for the long term, and I am exactly in the same boat. The Lions suck. Speaking of those Lions, he says, should we trade a second for Darnold? Trade Jimmy G to move up in the draft if anyone wants him? Okay, a second for Darnold is a whole different conversation. If you trade Jimmy G, you're not getting a first-round draft pick. So you'd have to go ahead and trade him for a second or a third, maybe even a fourth-round draft pick, because you remember the Patriots traded him for a second-round draft pick, and I don't think you're getting more than a second. So you don't really move up much in the draft because you're there at 12. You're not getting another first-round draft pick. So I think it's more of should we trade a second for Darnold? And while I think that it's a possibility, and maybe Robert Saleh wants to go ahead and help out his former team and trade Sam Darnold away, I am not sold on Sam Darnold being, again, better than Jimmy Garoppolo long-term. He might be, but I would rather potentially go for the defense, go for a pass rusher like Gregory Rousseau, potentially go for a corner like Patrick Surtain or Caleb Farley. There are plenty of other options. And if you want to get a quarterback, then just draft one instead of taking somebody who might be damaged goods based on what we've seen with the New York Jets. Speaking of drafting a quarterback, let me know who you guys want the 49ers to draft. Give me a name. I asked this earlier, and a lot of you guys are very high on Zach Wilson, which, I mean, I guess I understand overall. But name me a player the 49ers should go ahead and draft right now down below. I want to see what you guys think in terms of if you have a name right now for a player that you are really excited about potentially in the NFL draft. I saw Mac Jones a lot earlier. People must be very, very high on him just based on what he saw right now, as, of course, he was just playing a national championship game just a couple of days ago. Jamar Chase, yeah, but you don't want to take a wide receiver again. Like 3 straight years of taking a wide receiver early on in the draft. Rousseau, Surtain, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields. Man, we're split. We're split down the middle. Okay. Gregory Rousseau. Let's see. Zach or Kyle Trask. Patrick Surtain. Kyle Trask. Maybe we're very high on Kyle Trask. He wasn't that great against Alabama. He wasn't that great in, was it the Georgia loss as well? Because he lost like 3 games this year. I don't know if I'm that high I'd rather have Mac Jones than Kyle Trask, if I'm being honest, but that's just me. Okay, we're trying to get to 32,000 subscribers here on the 49ers Report, and as you see, we're less than 500 away. So make sure you guys are subscribed by hitting the bigger subscribe button down below. I want to get to 32,000 quick. So if you're watching right now, then go ahead and subscribe. If you already are subscribed, then just give the video a thumbs up as well, because that basically counts as the same thing. Let's go to Brandon here. He says, how much is Jason Verrett worth? Well, I think he was only paid like $1 million or $2 million this year. I did a video on him yesterday, the top free agents. You guys probably saw the video here on the channel. He's worth more than that. I think you're going to have to pay him $4 or $5 million, but I would not give him anything else. He has not proved himself to be worthy of a big long-term contract. He proved this year he's worthy of an extension, but nothing massive. I've given him a 2 or 3 year deal because you want to make sure he can stay healthy. And then after he proves it in another year, maybe twerk the contract a little bit to go ahead and give him a little bit more money. He's not worth, though, a ton. And if he wants a ton, I would let him walk and sign a Witherspoon or a Mosley, who's a lot cheaper. It's Flame says Prescott or Watson. Definitely Deshaun Watson, although Dak Prescott is a similar overall playing style, if you will, and he doesn't cost anything in terms of draft capital. So, I don't know, maybe Dak Prescott is the easier pick here because you just pay him. You don't have to go ahead and trade for him. But if you're asking me who's better, Deshaun Watson, 100%. Renzo says, we restructure Watson's contract if we get him. Yes, every contract is completely restructurable. And it is an expensive contract, but I don't know if Deshaun Watson would want to go ahead and restructure it. But yeah, I mean, every contract essentially can be restructured. I mean, it's like Jimmy Garoppolo's contract was just recently restructured to free up a little bit more money on the back end because they want to kind of front load these things or sometimes back load these contracts to make more room for signing some free agents. Okay, I want you guys to stay safe out there, but also look good and rep our 49ers. And these 49er face masks are still on sale right now. Looks like we're going to wear face masks for a while. I've said that for months. And so if you got one when we first brought out the 49er face mask, you're probably still wearing it, and you still will be for a while. Go to chatsports.com/49 mask. Most of them are up to 75% off. I mean, these are the deals right now to go ahead and jump in on. They got 1-pack, so you saw earlier, the 3-pack right here, as well as the 4-pack as well. You can look great, rep the 49ers, stay safe at the same time, and get them while they're hot and on sale right now. Again, link down below in the description box, chatsports.com/49 mask. These Kittle ones are kind of sweet. Honestly, if I'm taking any one, it's probably the Kittle one right here. But that is just me. You can go ahead and check out all the different styles and flavors of face masks to go ahead and wear while you're out and about. Jack says, what would you give up for Tua? People, Pro Football Focus said a first. A first is a lot. And it's tough because is Tua worthy of a first? He might still be because he only had 1 year. And it's not like every single quarterback his rookie year dominates. You got to remember, even a guy like Josh Allen wasn't great his rookie year. It took 3 years for Josh Allen to really come into his own and become the MVP caliber of quarterback that he is. So it'll probably cost a first-round draft pick. I would do a second right now. I would roll the dice on Tua. I would trade Jimmy Garoppolo, and I would do a second for Tua Tagovailoa right now. A first, though, is a little bit more. It's a little more difficult for me to swallow. Let's just say that, because a first-round draft pick, you guys, you got to remember, it is worth a lot in terms of overall capital in the National Football League. And again, the Niners have other needs. You can keep Garoppolo and probably still win a lot of football games. And Tua remains a gamble, as I've said earlier on. Bruce says, why is Shanahan so head over heels for Jimmy Garoppolo? Well, they've been together in the past couple of years. I mean, if you think about day in and day out, think of that coworker you work with right now who you'd be really bummed if he left. That's similar to the relationship Shanahan and Jimmy G have. And I think Kyle Shanahan also realizes Garoppolo took them to a Super Bowl. Like, how many quarterbacks take their teams to a Super Bowl year in and year out? I mean, normally it's just Tom Brady and somebody else. Patrick Mahomes now. I mean, quarterbacks don't just go to the Super Bowl just to go to the Super Bowl. I'm sure and I know that there are previous examples of Joe Flacco winning a Super Bowl, and obviously, getting to the Super Bowl. You talk about Colin Kaepernick, and Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. So there are mediocre quarterbacks that can win you a Super Bowl, but it is still rare. And so I think that that Shanahan sees what we don't see in practice. They liked each other at the same time, and that's why he's very high overall on Jimmy Garoppolo. Unfortunately, there's only one NFC West team left in the playoffs. It's not the 49ers. It is the Rams. Quick question here. Who do you guys have in this one, which comes up tomorrow? It'll be Saturday. Green Bay versus the Rams. Type GB for Green Bay. Type LAR for the LA Rams. It looks like Aaron Donald is going to play in this one. Oh, he's a little bit banged up. And so that might have a little bit of an impact on the game. I think Green Bay, it's going to be cold, too, at Lambeau Field. And Aaron Rodgers has been very good in the cold weather. And obviously at Lambeau Field, we see Tyrell says Green Bay. RSP49 says Green Bay. I'm feeling Green Bay, and it looks like Jared Goff's going to play as well. Yeah, a lot of Green Bay. Green Bay all the way. Green Bay. Yeah, we don't want the Rams to win, right? Let's just be honest here. Okay, let's move on to our next come on here. Give me those questions. Maybe get a guy like Ryan Fitzpatrick, to start and bench the rookie quarterback for a year and let them learn and go from there. I say Wilson, Lance, or Fields. Plus, what about trading up for Fields or Wilson? I don't understand the signing of Ryan Fitzpatrick, right? Because do you really want Ryan Fitzpatrick to be the guy? Because as you saw in Miami, Fitzpatrick is still good enough to go ahead and continue to be the starter. So there could be a situation where Fitzpatrick keeps the starting job, and then you bring in your rookie quarterback, Zach Wilson, or whoever else you want to go ahead and trade up for, doesn't play as well, and he gets benched. We saw that happen in Miami with Ryan Fitzpatrick and Tua Tagovailoa. So I'm out on Fitz. I'll just say that. I'm out on Fitz right now. But if you want to get a rookie quarterback and let him sit for a little bit, then sure, I understand that. But Garoppolo's contract is backloaded. So if you want to get rid of Garoppolo, you'd want to do it now, therefore starting the rookie quarterback, which would then vault the Niners into either boom or bust based on how good the rookie quarterback plays. Oliver J says, think they will trade Kendrick Bourne. No, Bourne is a free agent, so they won't be trading him. They will be releasing him, or I guess not re-signing him. I talked about it yesterday in my video. If you missed it, go back to that here after today's video where we talk about all of their free agents. And Kendrick Bourne is an unrestricted free agent. Now, I tied him back for a cheap price, but I think Bourne wants to go ahead and explore his options as a number 3 or possibly number 2 wide receiver in the NFL. I think they're just going to let him go. And of course, as a free agent, you're not going to be able to trade him. So no, they would not trade Kendrick Bourne. King says, will Debo be the number 1 next year, or will Ayuk take the reins? It should be Debo. I think Ayuk had a fantastic rookie year, but it should be Debo Samuel. It's more of who will be healthy. And if both are healthy, then I think you kind of might expect for both of them to be kind of an 800 to 900-yard player, 5 to 6 touchdowns apiece. I mean, I think they're both going to play very, very well overall. But I want to see what you guys, or I want to see them both, I should say, be healthy enough to play enough for us to really have this discussion, because obviously last year Ayuk was a lot better overall than Debo Samuel, just because Debo was injured for a lot more of the year.